organising an event in Antarctica and actually getting to an event in Antarctica, they're very difficult logistical exercises. For the competitors, they're coming from all over the world. I think you've got about 17 countries here. And they're coming from Australia, they're coming from Europe, from Asia. And they have to find their way to the tip of South America first. And for many of them, that's 20 hours flying alone just to get there, and then they have stopovers, etc. So they're quite fatigued by the time they get to Punta Arenas in Chile. There's a camp set up down here when we arrive. All of that involves huge logistics and expertise. Well, most people who come here don't actually acclimatise and they don't know what to expect. And I guess that's part of the thrill of coming here. There's a sense of, I suppose, dread in some of them in coming here, but they perversely kind of like that. There's a huge spectrum of runners here in terms of their age, ability, running experience, and they're all here for very different reasons. Some of them are trying to raise money for a charity. Some of them want to visit Antarctica, and the marathon is a good reason to get here and to earn your way here by running a physical event. And these people, they're all, I suppose, driven. They tend to be, many of them might be self-employed, but they're looking to test themselves in a new environment.
I think you need to be a little bit crazy, but then again, I think it's all relative. If you speak to some of the folks competing in this race, they've done some things that are far crazier, even more demanding.
I've been training myself, so I want to give the best that I can. That's it. I have no objective or of time or whatever, of ranking, but just want to give all I have this morning, because I've been preparing myself for weeks, and that's it.
You have to have a certain attitude for it. And if you prepare for it, if you read about it, if you talk to people who've done it, if you have the right gear, it's absolutely manageable. And it sounds a lot worse to somebody who's never even been in a cold environment or has even thought about going to a cold environment. I can understand that it sounds absolutely crazy and maddening. But once you go through the motions of preparing for it and getting ready for it and dealing with gear and finding out about it, it's absolutely manageable, and it's not any crazier than sitting in front of the television for 5 hours.
Once a week I'd run on the beach in the soft sand, because it's just like soft sand, and I also did some running in a giant industrial freezer.
This one, I think it's really, really important to start really slowly, and everybody's capable of doing it, but we just need to be really, really careful that we don't kind of overestimate ourselves given the conditions. So I'm going to force myself to run half the speed I would normally for the first few miles, and then see how I feel, and then hopefully pick it up a bit at the end.
Freezing cold, my toes are numb, so I can't wait to get started to heat up. Very nervous. Next year, you should do this. I hope they do it. My feet are frozen.
Temperature's good. Wind's calm. Looks good. Can't wait to start.
The course is a flat course. One of the things about this course is, and running in Antarctica in general, is that there are very few visual cues. So as a result of that, you tend to misjudge distance. So I think, the loop here is 25 kilometers, and people will see the camp from possibly 10 kilometers away as they approach it towards the finish. And that 10 kilometers, they might think it's only 4 kilometers.
Oh my God, it's so hot. Here we go. How you doing?
But as they run closer to the camp, they won't feel like they're getting closer, and that's because they've totally misjudged the distance. And the reason for that is people who run in city marathons or live in cities, their eyes can tell distance because they're used to buildings, and that gives you a very accurate depiction of distance. Here, that doesn't work.
Thank you. Good man. See ya.
Still a beautiful day out there. It's a wonderful experience, but there are so many stuff to do around the world. But I think I will be back in Antarctica because it's amazing being there. So maybe I'll be back for hiking, mountain climbing. But okay, for the marathon, I do it once and that's it.
I feel good. I don't know how long I was out there, but it didn't feel that long.
6 hours, 16 minutes, 29 seconds.
Oh, 6:16. All right.
I almost passed out about 100 meters that way. I started hyperventilating. Oh my god.
Kind of stuff now.